Oh. Oh my God. Oh, what a night. We are live now.
That's all, folks.
Wow. Wow. That's all I have to say about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give you guys a second to catch up. Oh, Mike and I were having this great conversation about storage. So it's probably good that you didn't hear it anyways.
Right.
Mike, we covered those apps, and I'll cut everything in the live show. I'll cut all that out. I'll leave this part in. We had some technical problems in the middle where my bandwidth got really bad, and I was going to try and I'm an HD on my side here. I'm seeing an HD stream here. But how about you, Mike? Is it looking any better?
I mean, yes, it's better definitely than it was.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And I thought I'd be tricksy and just drop while you were talking. I'm like, well, Mike will carry this for a while. I'm just going to drop it.
And then all of a sudden I saw it not live, and I'm like, well, never mind.
Gone. Yeah. So, yeah, now you can see us in full HD or whatever. I don't know why you'd want to. Maybe we should just stayed on Spreaker and wrapped it up. That
should have stayed 8-bit style.
8-bit. Ooh, the 8-bit podcast. That may not be a bad idea. Well, I think with that, Mike, I think we'll just call it a shorter show tonight. Anything else? Anything else in that discussion around apps or anything that you got, or should we wrap it?
No, I think that's a good place to wrap it.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Remind everyone on July 27th, special Thursday night, we are going to have the founder of ReadyNAS on the program. And he sold that ReadyNAS to Netgear, so they own that now. Now he has a new startup called Morrow Data, MORROW, and we're going to have them on. So we're going to get a little nostalgic, and we're going to talk about his new product, which is kind of fun. So I met him on the phone the other night. His name is Paul, and Paul started getting really nostalgic. As I told him I was a home server guy, he started getting super nostalgic and went all the way back to like 2003. And I was like, sweet. I said, all right, hold on to this conversation. I have the perfect audience for you.
Right.
And so this is going to be a good one. And he's a good guy. So he's going to come on July 20. I believe that's the 27th. And it's going to be great. And you're going to want to be a part of it. Ted said Sysadmin Day last Friday in July is the 28th. So celebrate Sysadmin Day by coming out Thursday night. Get started early. It's going to be all server stuff, all NAS server stuff, all home server stuff. And then celebrate Sysadmin Day. That's Ted's deal, by the way. He's the founder of that on the last Friday of July, the 28th. So we got a great weekend ahead for you. And that is coming up, and you want to come and join us live. I'd love to have him. It's kind of like when we had Veronica on, and you guys did a great job of a bunch of you coming out. Join us live. We'd love to have you out here. By the way, we are live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, out here at the AverageGuy.tv live. We are going to reschedule LastPass. That we just didn't get him tonight. Amber was not feeling good, so we gave her the night off. We'll get them back maybe later in August. Don't forget, we have a Patreon link available for it if you want to financially support the podcast. The link to that, as well as the one for the Amazon, the Amazon link for the Tech Scholarship Fund, available for you out there. Just head out to theaverageguy.tv and click on either one of the banners, and it will get you there as well. You can contact the show, send me an email, jim@theaverageguy.tv. You can find me on Twitter @jcollison. All those ways to connect. Those are really the best way. And I'm on Twitter a bunch these days. So send me. I've been having fun actually in the evenings, Mike. The community's been tweeting a lot more. Tony's been out there tweeting.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Tony, you're just a monster tweeter, by the way. Can you call somebody that a monster tweeter?
Monster tweeter? Yeah, sure.
Is that like Jumbo Shrimp? I don't know. So, but Tony's out there leading the way. And so if you want to join the conversation, there's some great stuff going on Twitter @jcollison. I'll get you to me, but seems like we're having more and more conversations on Twitter. So it's kind of fun, kind of old school, but kind of fun. Don't forget the AverageGuy.tv platform, both web and media hosting provided by Maple Grove Partners. Get secure, reliable, high-speed hosting from people that you know and you trust. For more information, contact Maple Grove Partners. That's Christian. MapleGrovePartners.com. Plans, $10 a month. Mike, you should make your way back.
I think I might. Yeah.
Time to make your way back. Come back.
Come home. Come home.
Come home, Mike. You've been out, you harlot. You've been out. You've been out spending nights, not even married to Squarespace.
Overpaying for slower service and locking up the website when I could have high-speed, reliable hosting from people you know and trust. And, that's Christian Johnson. So
You got me figured out.
got you figured out. There you go.
I just say it the same way every time. That's a trick of radio. That's a radio trick. That's what you do.
Perfect. It ingrains in your head.
And then you would know right now to tell people that they should download our app, right? HomeGadgetGeeks.com if you want to get the app. Best way to listen on the road, of course. If you're on a train, in a plane, in a car, something like that, best way to do that while you're traveling. Head out to HomeGadgetGeeks.com. And, of course, we thank LastPass for their sponsorship of that app. And we appreciate their sponsorship of everything they do. We're live 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern out here at theaverageguy.tv/live. Love to have you come out. Well, I'm sure we're going to have some fun in the post show. You can't get the post show. And there's 2 ways now to get the post show. 1, be here. That's the easy way. That's the cheap way. If you're going to be cheap, come out. 2, go to Patreon. Give us $1 on Patreon. And I send you the post show video and or audio every single week. So you can be cheap, but you got to come. You're going to pay for this in time or money, right? Time.
You choose.
Time or money. Patreon, $1. Out here live, free.
And sometimes there's little nuggets in the pre and post show. You never know.
Yeah. Well, tonight's could be really interesting. I'm just going to say it's been a weird show, but we appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Good to see you all in the chat room. We'll be back next week. And with that, we'll say goodbye, everybody.
I'm going to try sometime and do your outro, the entire thing, without even having the script in front of me. I think I could do it.
My script?
Yeah, I could do the intro and the outro
totally.
From memory.
Yeah. You want to try? You want to try?
No, not right now. I could, don't put me on the spot.
I'm not even sure I could do it.
Really?
You start. Here's the weird thing. The second you start thinking about it, you go off the tracks. You've got to do it. Like you can't. You got to clear your mind. Because when you get dependent on the brain does something different. When you get dependent on reading it, you can read it like you're not reading it. But yeah, once you start thinking about it, I do this all the time at work because they like to mock me at work, because I do the same intro for the Gallup stuff all the time too. And they'll mock me. And so I'll do it. And they just think it's the funniest thing in the world when I do it, right? They laugh, hoo ha ha ha, whatever. But so I try to get, into the intro. And one time I was trying to do it during a show because I couldn't get my show notes to come up. And so at Gallup, we say, I am Jim Collison, live from the Gallup studios here in Omaha, Nebraska. This is Gallup's Called the Coach, and then I say the date, whatever, blah, blah. And then I have this long, Called the Coach is a Gallup webcast series that dives. No, that's Christian. So no, that's Theme Thursday. See, and they vary kind of based on Called the Coach as one, Theme Thursday as one.
I just listen to you, like once a week, so I could. Yeah,
I think it's like Theme Thursday is a Gallup webcast series that dives deep into the Clifton StrengthsFinder themes, one theme at a time. And today's theme is Activator. If you have comments, anyways. Right. The second you think about it, gone.
Well, it's like back when I was in Catholic school, like trying to recite a prayer, like the prayer, but then when if you have to like lead that prayer, you just forget it. Like there's no way you're gonna, or like singing the national anthem. That's why people always mess it up. Like that like the back of your hand, but until you're put on the spot, and then it all.
Have you said the Pledge of Allegiance lately? Like I was at a school and, they're like, okay, stand up, speaking at a school. And they're like, I pledge allegiance. And I had this fear come over me like, oh my God, I haven't said that in like 40 years.
Right. No, I haven't said that in years. I have not said that in years.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a scary moment. And then everybody's saying out loud and there's just enough people in the room that everybody can hear everybody. And I'm thinking, oh, I can definitely not screw this up.
Right.
Like, you gotta nail the Pledge of Allegiance. And, let's think about that for a second. How weird is that first of all, it's called the Pledge of Allegiance, and that we used to do it in schools every morning. And it's a little, I don't know if it happens that much anymore.
I was going to say, do they even say it anymore?
I don't know. People are kind of weird about that these days.
Yeah. The whole under God thing took off a while back and everyone got
well, that wasn't put in. A lot of people don't know. That under God wasn't put in until like the 50s.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it used to be just one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, right? Oh. And in the 50s, or I think it was in the 50s, I think that under God got jammed in there.
Gotcha.
And so but it's interesting. I just how far away you get from that.
Right.
You get out of school, you're not like it. You get to work. I pledge allegiance
Now that would
to
be
the flag. Although 4th of July, we did have some patriotic stuff at church, and that
I
was
pledge allegiance to high profit margins and create our own.
and trying to create as much, as many good customers as possible.
Right.
And to this profit, I shall stand.
Very high billable hours and welcome to the consulting world.
One employee of many under this roof, indivisible, with profitability and
right. For CEO and
engagement for all.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, I think it was Emily. You should do. Have you done a story behind on the Pledge of Allegiance? That would be an interesting. It's just such a foreign concept in today's culture. Like, I'm pledging my allegiance to what? I mean, it's just a different. I think. Don't you think, Mike? Don't you think people are a little more like that's a little weird?
I'll be 100% honest with you. I've never actually even thought about the Pledge of Allegiance any more than just saying it until tonight. Until you just said it's the Pledge of Allegiance. Like I've never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was just something I said in school. I don't even know what it was.
I did this. I solemnly swear to defend the Constitution of the United States against all foreign. I did that one, and they read that to you. It's so funny. They literally read it to you 3 words at a time. That's you can't be trusted with a whole sentence. You're joining the military,
right? You
can't be trusted with a whole sentence.
Yeah,
foreign and domestic, as it may be concerned. And it's just I state your name.
That was like when we all got sworn in as attorneys at the state capitol, and it was the same thing, 3 words at a time.
Yeah, man, it's probably the smart thing to do because then people get all messed up and then they start snickering, and that's not
the venue
good.
For that. No. Yeah,
that's not good. Yeah, Ted just dropped the link to the Wikipedia for Pledge of Allegiance. It's just a weird. I guess I just thought of that too, like those 3 words, the Pledge of Allegiance, and you're
4
like
words.
4 words. I was like, is the really or just Pledge of Allegiance? I was trying to think which one it was, but that's a weird concept today. And Ted says it started after World War II. That makes sense. Well, you know what? You think about World War II here in the United States. So we're a global podcast, but you think of World War II, and from 1941 to 1944, it didn't look good. Like there were some people. It's when I started watching this Netflix series, Man in the High Castle. Yeah, and the whole premise.
It's Amazon.
Right?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. Right. And the whole premise, right, is we didn't win the war. I think if you were alive during that era, it's not certain that this thing is going to end. Today we're like, oh yeah, we kicked ass in World War II, and America, right? And I don't think they felt that way from 41 to 44. I think they were kind of like, oh, geez.
It's a good point. If you didn't live through it, I guess you know what the history books say, right?
Yeah. Well, so you come out of something like that, and you think, and they win. And it's over, and Hitler's dead, and Japan is decimated, and America has this great feeling about itself. It kind of makes sense that it would be like, this national swelling of pride.
Right.
You think George, we were just talking about this today on the Gallup podcast, George Bush, the second one, his rating, his Gallup approval rating was at an all-time low right before 9/11. And then, of course, that happens and it shoots. I mean, over the next 2 months, it peaks out at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And, it
was that Toby Keith, we'll put a boot in your ass America song. And everyone was like, yeah, George W. I mean, that's kind of what happened.
Yes.
That symbolizes what
it was
happening. Yeah. Like that's that song was exactly like the American thought about it.
Was.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So, it's in times of national turmoil, there had to be, you know, in the late 40s, early 50s, there had to just be this incredible, you know, pull to kind of pull everybody together. God, we
Right.
made it. Thank God we made it. So, you know, and then it kind of falls apart. You know, 60s is a weird decade, and then by the 70s, it's, you know, we're in Vietnam, and it's just a mess, and the military is a mess, and there's all kinds of drugs in the military, and it's a bad deal, and nobody wants to be in Vietnam, and so it's quick. It's interesting how quickly 30 years it just dissolves. I mean, it just becomes all that national pride just goes to crap.
Right. Yeah, things can change so fast. But you're totally right. I mean, it's that whole syndrome of like when you go through something really traumatic with a group of people, same sort of thing, super tight, you know,
Right.
brought you together, and then kind of fades.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting dynamic about the human, you know, kind of the human condition and the way we're built. And of course you know, it's probably evolutionarily built into us to, you know, in those times of turmoil to come together. Because if you fly apart, you die. Those
Right.
guys didn't make it. You know, the ones that said, hey, let's run away from each other. Well, you know, you were lion food in the middle of the night.
Lion food.
How's my bandwidth? Am I all right?
Yeah. It was a little choppy for like there for a second, but it's all back.
You got the lion food.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, when we sleep, right? There's a chemical that paralyzes us basically, so we won't walk in our sleep. And that's when, for people who walk in their sleep, that's kind of that chemical is not working right. And
I did not know that. Okay.
And so yeah, you're in this paralyzed state when you're sleeping, and you think, wow, that's a miracle. Well, no, it's just everyone that didn't work in the middle of the night, you know, got up and walked around and was, you know, lion food. And that's when they hunt. So, you know, it was advantageous for you to stay in the campground.
Right.
You know, stay together, stay in the campground. Don't get up and walk around when you're not awake. And of course, that's very advantageous. Today, probably not. I don't think that's gonna change too many people, because we've got so much protection. But yeah, we're in the post show.
I think like
one people get for $1.
Yeah, well, we're giving them their money's worth tonight.
Hey, well,
I think all of like 0 people in the chat room got the Toby Keith song.
Oh, dude, that was funny. That's good.
I love that song. I still love that song. But you got to be into country music to enjoy that song.
Toby Keith, America.
Like that's all he was just drink beer, mess up terrorists, kill Nazis. America.
Well, that whole post 9/11 era country music was just like jumping on the America bandwagon, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
See, but that's what we were talking about. Like it creates that whole, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, right on
stuff.
Right on. Yeah, I think it's a survival, tactic, to be honest with you. So.
Emily, I would love to, but I don't know. I've not seen the movie Clue.
I've never seen Clue.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I think that came out when I was distracted.
When did it come out?
I don't know. I was distracted. I think I was distracted with children in those days.
Gosh, that is. Oh, hey. Did I tell you this? Did I tell the community? No, I don't know if I can say it. Yeah, I don't know. Yes. Baby number 2 is on the way. So, yes. There we go.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm all of a sudden freaking out. Like, yes, I think we can. I think it's now public information.
Hannah's giving.
Everyone's good. Everyone's good. So yeah, number 2 is on the way, due December 27th.
Oh,
so
could be a Christmas baby.
Could be a Christmas baby very soon. So
you know how that works, right?
What?
The babies. This is not happening.
This will be a great post show. Can you fill me in on? Because
when you drink the water from a certain tap at a certain temperature,
my mommy and daddy love each other very much. But so
it has nothing to do with love. Tina Turner said, "What's love got to do with it? It's just a secondhand emotion."
I can't think of a song to quote. I was going to keep the train going, but yeah, so pretty exciting. And so the new baby, we don't know the gender yet, but the new baby and Emmett will be like a year and 2 months apart, about. So kind of fun. Maybe 3 months, year and 3 months.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
That's a good space. That's a good space. 18. No.
It's about as
15
quick.
months.
It's about as quick as you can do it, I think. Actually,
Yeah.
It's pretty soon after. But
Bill and John, my oldest and second, were 14, 15 months apart. We're in the military.
Okay.
And then maybe
I think it'll make it a lot of fun because they have someone so close to them in age. I think it'll be a blast.
I think it's so early, it's easier. So when it's 1 and 2 that are that close, you're already kind of in that mode, and you've got, you've just gotten through it. And 2's not death, but if 2 and 3 are that close, or 3 and 4 are that close, that's like creating. I mean, that's like a F5 tornado that you've just created. It's because you're already tired, and then and then 4 is like, and there's difficulty with kids. It's not a straight line. Like the more you have, it's not straight line difficulty, man. That thing is a curve. I mean, it gets exponentially harder the more you add to the
equation. Tell me
equation.
that. I think it's already pretty hard. No,
I know, dude. You're in the easy. You are in the easy part.
I'm definitely in the easy diaper changing part. Like, I noticed that there is no reason you should complain about changing a baby's diaper or even a toddler's diaper. Like, once they start eating real food, it's way worse. Way, way worse.
Tony says in the male contribution in the childbirth process is often downplayed too much. It's the diapers are the killer.
Downplayed.
the diapers they're the real deal, man. Are you doing cloth, or did you go disposable?
Yeah, we got disposable. Yeah. It's like try being in my generation and saying that you do regular diapers. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, you hate the planet." No, I
see. You are cloth.
What?
You are cloth.
No, we're not cloth. No, like, cloth is like good for the environment. It's the right choice. It's that sort of stuff. And we
you're a polluter.
Yeah,
I heard that the Larson B ice shelf in Antarctica broke off, and it's the size of the state of Delaware. You contributed to that, Mike.
That was me.
You contributed to that. It was just
according to all the people that follow Mark Zuckerberg, all the South Dakota ranchers that have cows too. So
it was just fine. And then you started having kids, and all of a sudden we start losing icebergs. And it was funny because they're like, well, it's really not going to make that big of a difference because it's just an ice shelf, and it's not currently blocking any glaciers coming off Antarctica.
Okay.
So it's not that much water, right? It's basically what they're saying. They said what's really bad is when you lose a part of an ice shelf that's blocking a glacier coming out, and once it goes, the glacier just starts flowing. I mean, it flows fast.
Okay.
And they said that's where it gets really ugly with water, with water levels,
right?
Because those glaciers are can be hundreds of feet thick, and they will those ice shelves are 30 feet, whatever, 50 feet thick, whatever they are. They're not too big, but those glaciers have tons of ice in them. So I was like, oh, so I shouldn't be spraying these CFCs into the air.
Right. Yeah, well, with the amount of diapers I've thrown away, I feel like we could have single-handedly detached that ice shelf. So, whatever.
Way to go, man.
Thanks.
To go. We did cloth. This was
Did
90s.
you?
We did cloth for like the first one.
I feel bad.
No, hold on. It gets better. So we did like the first one, maybe 6 or 7 months, and Sarah's like, "This is stupid."
Okay, good. That makes me feel better.
Went right to the.
We got the diaper genie with the thing. You just throw them in, and then
We had 3, and we had literally gotten the third one kind of off diapers, and we're like, "Yeah!" And then we got pregnant with the 4th. It was like, "Oh, jeez."
Or life just sometimes sucks.
So then we had, and Tim and Sam are super close. They're 14 months apart or whatever,
right.
15 months apart. So yeah, it's like except that was 4 and 5. Holy moly. They almost killed us.
Wait, I thought you said they were your oldest.
No, they're the youngest. Sorry.
Youngest.
The oldest are close, and the
you were talking about the oldest earlier. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
So 1 and 2 and 4 and 5, they're close. 3, poor 3, man. He just screwed. He's in the middle. He's definitely a middle child.
He's that's Tim, right?
It's Josh.
Oh, Josh.
Josh,
Okay.
yeah. Tim is 4, and then Samantha's 5.
Okay.
So it's the number 4. He's a Marine. He turned out all right.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
for sure.
he's doing okay, making money. I'm like, hey, you saving any of that money? Yep. He's gonna be richer than all of us probably.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's not a big spender, and he knows he wants to save some money for college, and government's going to pay for some of that school, so he should be, hopefully by then he'll have.
Does he have a girlfriend out there?
No, he is.
That saves you money right there.
Yes. I asked him the other day, and he's like, "Not here. Are you kidding?" So it's like, oh, well, I guess you're going to be kind of picky then.
Right.
Emily says she honestly felt bad for Mark when she was in labor because he had to watch her go through all that pain. I don't know, Mike, did you struggle? Because, they bear the brunt of the pain. I just let Sarah punch me a couple times. She felt better.
It's just it's the weirdest feeling. Yeah. When you're sitting there as the guy, because you feel so bad, yet you're so excited at the same time. And you just don't know how to feel. So I don't know. The women have it way worse. Like it's crazy.
Oh, totally.
Like
yeah,
it's
us
so
guys
crazy.
Think like, oh yeah, it's so hard. Yeah, shut up.
Right.
It's not hard for guys.
No.
Yeah.
Like even during the 9 months, like no drinking, no this, no that, no. And now they've gotten so crazy about like the suggestions they make of what you should and shouldn't eat. Like you're not supposed to eat cold deli meat, and Hannah loves ham sandwiches for lunch. Like you're supposed to have it warmed up, and like it's just all the stuff now. It's just crazy.
Wait a minute. Like we're not supposed to eat that stuff? No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, no. I have Jimmy John's and 3 beers, and I
was crushing ice cream the whole way. I'm like, hey, Sarah, ice cream, chasing it with a blue moon,
right?
Just like crushing it. Like, I'm sorry you can't eat any of this. Because it's got beer in it, in my mouth.
Right.
So
it's like an ice cream float with beer.
Oh my God. I don't know why she still likes me. Yeah.
Still early.
Emily, there's some minimums, right? There's some minimums that you can't drink and some of those other things, but it's
Emily, Hannah would totally agree with you on that. Hannah's about the same way with the second
Mike,
one.
do you think, okay, number 2, you were probably pretty crazy. You still might be. See, you don't know yet. What? I'm going to tell you the way it's going to be. So you guys were pretty crazy. You guys are pretty, maybe not as much as most, but you do all the right things. A big diaper bag. You carry all that stuff with you. It's got to be the right formula, all the right stuff.
Yep.
Number 2, about half that stuff gets just thrown out. You're like, no, not important. That wasn't important. This wasn't important.
See, on certain things, yeah, totally. But we actually started so people were talking about brand of diapers and like formula and stuff. We tried really hard to stick to the really cheap stuff. No, we don't need the name brands. He took after me, sadly. He's got super sensitive skin. And he's got this reflux stuff really bad. So he has to use like the Enfamil Gentle Ease. We tried it all. We were like, okay, we start with the cheapest stuff and see what level does he need. Nope. He doesn't projectile puke if he has this, and he doesn't turn into like a piece of sandpaper if he doesn't have these diapers. So we're actually usually very much just like, we don't care about the brands either and stuff like that. Hannah makes all of his own food. She doesn't buy any of it. So she'll go and grab a bunch of like peas and broccoli and avocado and put it in the baby blender thing, the magic bullet, and make it up for him. So saves so much money doing it that way. Yeah. That's like our biggest cash saving with the baby is when you make your own food. That stuff's expensive. Mm-hmm. So the formula enough is
expensive than gourmet food.
Oh yeah,
like you can get some really good food if you start thinking about how much you pay for that per ounce. It's pretty expensive stuff. They put it in those little jars.
Expensive. Yeah,
it's like, well, it's not that expensive. It's like $1.99. You're like, okay, let's do price per ounce. Oh, that's as much as gold.
Right. Yeah, and especially like we already pay enough for his formula, so it's nice that she, it's a lot of extra work for her, and like thank goodness, like she's awesome. Like she just does all that stuff and she has no problem doing it. So that's nice. But
that's good. That helps. Tony says Magic Bullet also good for great margaritas.
Yeah. Except for the residue that gets them, the baby. No, they do make great margaritas.
Peas? You're drinking a margarita. Is that carrots?
Yeah, that would be my problem. Yeah. Because early on when they're younger, they mix it with like the milk and stuff like that. So it's not just the peas in there. They get older and then it's just the straight food, but
yeah. Tony says still cheaper than printer ink.
I don't know, is it?
It's printer ink, I think, is the most expensive stuff on the planet.
Printer ink is insane.
You can buy uranium cheaper than you can get printer ink.
I'm just gonna nuke the Canon ink.
Mike? What do you use for a printer? This is like a podcast from 1985.
The few times I need to print, I have a HP LaserJet 1020.
10?
It's an old one that used to be in an office that actually the office gave to my dad. My dad had it in his basement. I like LaserJets because they kick stuff out. You don't have to replace the ink cartridges. I have no color printer.
Yeah.
There's no need. Is there really a need for it anymore?
All through college?
All through college.
Yeah.
Yep. I replaced the spool once. That was great. Well, because in college too, you don't have to. Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
You don't have to print anything really in college.
Not anymore.
That's
the thing. I've got this 7410, this HP 7410 that I bought at Office Depot 10 years ago, maybe longer. And it was one of those, they were clearancing it out, and I think I got it for $75. Now the ink cartridges cost that much.
Oh yeah.
It's a dual tray. It'll print on both sides. It's got card readers on it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's got a little fax thing. You could plug it into your phone. It's got the bells and whistles, man. It's a sweet printer, and we print maybe 10 sheets a year.
Right.
I print you got to print your identification cards, right, for your insurance. That's still something you print, right? What else? You're going to put them in your car? How are you going to put
them to us?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. But what we've been printing lately is I hadn't used that printer until we started. We shipped off a bunch of old textbooks. We were cleaning out the basement. You would be so surprised. The textbooks were from Hannah when she was in undergrad and her master's, and me from early on in law school. So 3 to 4 to 5 years old, and we still made, I think, about $800 selling all those textbooks on Amazon. Which is a pretty good amount for selling some old books that were in the basement, and it was so printing off the labels from Amazon and the packing stuff. That's the only time we've used this printer in the last year.
Yeah, shipping labels.
Yep.
Yeah, I was selling those stamps for a while. My family's going to start asking me when I'm going to sell those again, but my dad's stamp collection. My dad had this gigantic stamp. You can kind of see it here. I shouldn't say that, but there's
right there
potentially thousands of dollars worth of stamps right in this.
Really?
Down here. Yeah, really old. Or it could be $5. It's very possible they're worth nothing.
If you get the right buyer,
Yeah, right. So it was supposed to be my job to sell them, and I brought them and I started doing it, and I realized, holy crap, this is a ton of work. And I stopped. But I was printing labels. Yeah. So I don't know what I look at that printer and I'm like, why? Why do I still have this thing? And then it might be cheaper just to buy the new printer with ink than buy the ink cartridges. But then
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that.
Those new ones you buy have special cartridges in them, and they have 2 drops. Like it's just enough to do the test print that you're supposed to do when you get a new printer, and then they immediately run out of ink. Those cartridges are so weak.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they're like special. Like, well, you get 10 pages out of this one.
Lopped, I have not heard of the Beardy Dad's podcast. Maybe I'll grab it.
Ken looks like he got some. He got 400 meg.
Read now.
400.
He got a lot too, Jim. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, no. My bandwidth just then it went to HD. That's weird. I think, and I was trying to bring up the server that those are on, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't bring it up tonight. But no, I was like 50 meg for each. So far, I haven't broke 100 meg yet.
So Ken, as far as bandwidth, I use pfSense. So I post this question in the Facebook. I use pfSense. pfSense actually, when you do a NAT rule, so when you go in and set your NAT and you port forwards, like all the ports I forwarded, it's in a NAT section on pfSense then if you go to rule, I don't even know if you use pfSense, but I'm just telling everyone else this. If you go to the rules, it creates a rule for you, and it actually says how much data was received on that port because you open it up. So that's how I found out how much bandwidth I have, because it's all coming in on that port. But no, there's no link to find out how much. That's kind of the weird part, is until they send out their month end spreadsheet, you don't get any information really on, besides how much you've stored. You know that calculation. But as far as bandwidth goes, hard to tell that. And if you look at the storage A prices too, I think it's divided by 3. So 3 farmers is kind of they're dividing it up parity wise, because that same information is stored on 3 different farmer stuff. So that if 2 of them left, they'd still have it. So if you take those numbers and divide by 3, that's probably what you're going to get paid, or a little bit less than that for your stuff. So I looked at the pricing. It's 5 cents per gigabit download and 1.5 cents per gigabyte that you're storing. So interesting. It's all on the bandwidth. That's where you make your money.
Yeah, my storage A stat response time is down in the 6, and that it started in the 9s and it's down in the 6s.
Oh yeah, did you put that one in the chat for Ken?
Which one?
Ken, I'll put it in the chat.
No,
so
storagestat.com. Yeah, I think he knows it.
Oh, there you go. Yep, he just said that. I didn't read that one. And then there's also ssdynamite.com. If you go and put your logs in there, it'll actually tell you how reachable, like, I guess it's reachable. Yes, you've done everything correctly. You're receiving and sending stuff. But if you've got that much storage already, then yours is working flawlessly, I would say.
It is pronounced storage.
Yeah, sorry, I keep saying it the wrong way because I just started the old way. It's storage.
Yeah. I like Storage A, though.
I think it's my pet peeve when you spell something and it's not spelled right. So it is they are giving up so much like Google juice, right? Because you go in and you Google it, you either type in storage the right way, or if people pronounced it Storage A, they might actually type in STORJ. So it's just annoying. I don't like, pronounce it the wrong way or don't change the spelling.
I just said Storge. It's in Spanish. It would be Storge.
Storge.
Hey, Storge. That's good. Oh, through Hoon or Hoon.
When it gets to the 4,000s.
I have not found that to be true. I think I've got one that's at 40,000 and it's still 40 megs. So not.
For contracts?
I wish that was true. Yeah.
It has to do with a lot of different things. Your delta is a big part of it. Your response time, your average response time is huge. So
I'm gonna have to. I can't find the IP address for this. Or I'm having trouble connecting to my server. So it's bothering me. I can't bring that up.
For what? Oh, the storage stuff.
It's running on. It's running on the HP. I got the little Gen 7 or 1040L or whatever it is. 1040. No, N40L. 1040L. It's like a tax document. Yeah, I've got a tax document as a server. I got a 1040L. And so it runs, super small. I mean, very efficient. Stores tons of drives. It's the perfect little storage or Storage server. But I was connecting to it remote and now I can't get to it. I was trying to set up the box, the Bitdefender box, and I screwed up, when you're trying stuff out, and screwed up some stuff on the network, and now I'm having trouble connecting. So I need to spend, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to
get that going,
trying to get that fixed.
Yeah, Ken, I did the same thing with the firewall. I didn't, on one of my machines, on the non-server machine just running regular Windows 10, it had prompted me saying, hey, do you want to let this through? So that one was working. On the Dell R710 running Windows Server 2016, it doesn't prompt you. So the firewall is still blocking there. And then I think I also, in the config file, all my ports were like 4,000, 4001, 4002, 4003 for like 4 different nodes. And you just separate them by 3. So because they have 3 tunnel ports in between them. So I had overlapping ports. So mine were all messed up for the first 2 days. So it should be like 4,000, 4,004, 4,007, so on and so forth. But
I did yours. I did 4,000, 4,005, 4,010.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just easier to remember in those.
Yep, that's a good way.
I have it running on Ubuntu, so
that's nice. Working pretty well
on the Kangaroo. Yeah, it's the Kangaroo is a perfect little computer to run it on. It runs a little warm. I'm running SETI on it too, but because it's it takes no bandwidth,
right?
I mean, it takes no processor, and you just need storage. So that the Ubuntu box has 37,000 contracts, but only 40 megs of storage.
Ken, yours is using a lot of CPU? Mine's not using like any, I don't think.
No, I don't. Why?
Yeah, it's kind of. Is yours using a CPU really?
No,
yours is on the Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. It doesn't have a CPU.
Right.
It's got a little squirrel in it.
Yeah.
That thing gets hot like that.
Ken, you didn't need to space your ports. Was there a reason you didn't? You usually should have to. In the config file, it's like the whatever port, and then you got your min and your max later. I'd be interested to know because I'm learning that as well. But is there a reason you wouldn't need to space your ports? I'm trying to think if there would be.
Maybe not.
I guess maybe if you're not using UPnP, do you really need the tunnel ports? Maybe that's why. I don't know. That'd be my guess. But see, this is the fun. I don't know. I just like playing around with it.
It's tons of fun. I haven't had it used hardly any CPU. I was gonna
I haven't either.
Double check on the HP because that's isolated. That really has nothing running on it, and except this. And I kind of thought, well, if it takes off and I get a bunch of, and I get where I need to upgrade the drives, that would be an easy one to throw some bigger drives into. It might be worth it, but it'd have to do some stuff.
10 to 20 on i5.
Yikes! Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. It's doing nothing. It's literally doing nothing. I mean, it's pinging and moving. Yeah, there's some data moving around, but that's not expensive. I double check.
Interesting. I wonder what my
yeah, I'd have to get my thing working. All right, gents, I'm gonna call it quits. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for putting up with the weird internet tonight. Seemingly I'm back to normal. I'm in HD over here, anyways, and so thanks for coming out. We'll be back next week. What are we doing next week? Let's see who's on. We have. Oh man, I got to get with Mark and Mike. Mark must have left. No, Mark's out there. Yes.
Oh, Ken.
Grilling next week. Are you here?
Yes,
Mike?
I'm here next week,
so
and then not the rest of the weeks. So
the big grilling show. So
nice.
We're back next week at the big grilling show. It'll be a extravaganza. So have a good night, guys. Mike, hang around for just a second.
Yep.
We'll see you guys.